Welcome. Yes, we've got a packed show. It's going to be full of lots of interesting information, little tidbits, as it were. And I hope you're going to enjoy it. We're going to be talking about Xbox. Stadia gets a mention. Loads of this. Look, there's lots of good stuff today. That's all I'm going to say. Lies of P. Shadow dropped on Xbox Game Pass. It's not meant to be released till tomorrow. But if you've got Xbox Game Pass, you can play that now. We're going to be talking about the future of Xbox Game Pass. We'll be talking about the future of Xbox itself, the next gen. And as I said, even Stadia, God bless it, gets a mention. All that and much more, so stay locked as we hit the show intro.
It's the Monday Game Chat with your host, Clive Illenden.
Yokoso, Aragata gozaimasu. Welcome to the Monday Game Chat. We'll be covering most of the game news, but much more. I was just sort of putting the show together, and there's so much sort of interesting stuff. Obviously, Starfield last week got released on GeForce Now. So if you have GeForce Now Ultimate tier and you also happen to have Xbox PC Game Pass or the Ultimate Game Pass, whatever, you can stream it. And in fact, I did. Lord Kensal have been streaming Starfield via GeForce Now. I'd started playing Starfield on the Xbox Series X when it first launched, downloaded it, so, old school. But equally looking really cool playing it on GeForce Now, or via GeForce Now, although I'm struggling on a little bit at the moment. But what a game. What a game. It's certainly doing really, really well. And we've got some stats on that as well, some sort of sales sort of stats on how well the game is, I'd say, been received. It is doing, put it that way. So we're going to be covering a lot of that. But as ever, formalities. As Jerome always says here, hit the likes. That's what he says. He's always there. He's there backing me up. He's got my back, Jerome. Good to see you, Jerome. Hit the likes and all of that. And if you're new here, then gosh, Yokoso, you are most welcome. Do me the massive favor. If you've stumbled upon this live stream, why don't you hit the subscribe button, toggle that notification bell. That way you'll know when I go live with this. I'm always covering gaming news. I cover Xbox news, GeForce Now news, and any other gaming news that I, think of that I think might be interesting. Let's put it that way. Might be interesting to you, including Stadia. I hope you said, did you see? He says, did you see my video? I did. Let me look it up here. I hadn't planned to do this. I'll do it now. Look at my channel. Did you see my little video? Let me just show you. Here on Stadia 2.0. Stadia 2.0. You can see it here. Did you check that video out? If not, you should definitely check it out. It's not Stadia 2.0. But it was just confirmation that Google are working on something called Google Playables. And get this. What a brilliant idea. Basically, it's a way of streaming games in the YouTube app. So while you're watching YouTube, you can play a game and it streams that game. What a brilliant idea. Anyway, it's called Playables, and they're not AAA games. They're kind of casual games. The example, they Google Play type games and stuff like that. But it's just interesting that they're exploring this idea of playing casual games while you watch YouTube. Or is this a slow creep back into the gaming arena? Or is it just, Google are very successful in gaming, let's not forget. Maybe not with Stadia, but certainly Google Play makes a lot of money. So, and we've seen with Netflix. So I go on about this in the video. Netflix, we know, are developing AAA games, but that's not how they started. Yeah, so they didn't come out straight out the gate saying, look, we're Netflix. We're the Netflix of Netflix. Yeah, we always talk about the Netflix of gaming. Netflix or the Netflix of Netflix. They didn't come out of the gate going, right, we're going into games. Where those AAA games, let's get them up on the, on our servers and start streaming them. No, they started streaming casual games. And interestingly enough, we've seen it similar with Apple Arcade. They're glorified, Apple games or sort of, like Google Play type games, casual games. But now with your new iPhone, you could, they're porting effectively Assassin's Creed. So, is this the new way, sort of like a Trojan horse, start off with the casual gaming, and as the technology gets better and people get used to the idea of, streaming games, albeit simple games, start upgrading? Or is it a classic case of somebody in Stadia reinventing the wheel that they've already invented? I don't know. Anyway, watch the video. It's quite interesting. No, it's not Stadia 2.0, but I thought that was a good clickbaity title because it's Google doing game streaming. So, and everybody else was using that kind of approach. But there we are. Check out the video if you're interested later, of course. But it's nice. The nice thing, I got a lot of nice comments on it, actually, which is quite sweet. There we are, look. Al Davis Music here. I've missed you talking about Stadia, Clive. I miss, Victor, he misses Stadia. Purple Haze. I have to admit, I enjoyed seeing your name in Stadia again. And then, like, a little while ago, about an hour ago, Liam Atkins there. Shout out to Liam. Welcome back, Clive. Like, am I only associated with Stadia? It's interesting that, I guess I did do a show for effectively 2 years. So, some people only know me on YouTube as the sort of, in their world, sort of as the Stadia guy. It's quite sweet, those comments, but that's by the by. Anyway, so there, I just thought I'd share that. Now we've got some. Why don't we just stick on the Stadia theme? I'm going to come back to that. I've got some little other Stadia news, oddly enough. Some perspective of Stadia from Xbox's point of view. There's some documents have been released as part of the FTC case. There's been more a whole shed load of documents and emails from Xbox and stuff like that, giving some really interesting sort of behind the scenes view of gaming and stuff from the last couple of years, and streaming and Stadia and all of that. All thanks to the FTC Microsoft case. And as I say, a shed load of documents seem to have come out in the last day or so. So we'll be looking into that. But as ever, let me know what games you've been playing. Put it in the chat. I always like to know. As for me, I have been playing Starfield. So I went through a bit of a lull of not playing anything. I think maybe subconsciously I was just waiting for Starfield. Like the idea of that kind of put me off playing other stuff. Other than, of course, Antstream, I was, because they're nice casual games. So I've been playing Starfield. I've been enjoying it. It can be overwhelming, I think, though. There's a lot going on, and you're carrying too much, which I really hate. Anybody who watched Lord Kensal stream will know that, like Lord Kensal, I get so annoyed about, you're carrying too much stuff, junk the stuff. Then stop giving me stuff to pick up, or give me a bigger bag to carry it in. And it reminded, I mentioned, Lord Kendall mentioned it on his stream. It reminded me of bloody Fallout. You're carrying too much stuff. You can't run. And then you run out of oxygen and, nightmare. Anyway, I am enjoying it and sort of doing the little tasks and the kind of expansive nature of it. And I don't think I've even got to the bit where it gets good, as people say. Although I've got about 8 hours into it, but some of those 8 hours have just rinse and repeat because I've failed the level or whatever, or the task in mind. I sometimes get a bit lost as well when traveling from point to point. The map system's a bit weird, and sometimes you don't get I had to land somewhere, and so I landed, and then it said, you've got to get back on the ship to go where you need to go. And I thought, well, no, but you said where I needed to go was where I landed. And it was like, it was sort of next to it, about 500 meters away. So it's very confusing anyway. And I was in sort of a wilderness, so I wasn't sure where I was meant to be going. So there's some bits I find a bit confusing. And I think, partly because it's really overwhelming and all of that. Anyway, but I am enjoying it despite those moans. So, yes, as I said, let's see what, the early birds, as we like to check out what the early birds, you guys, the keen guys are on about. So, Jerome, yes, Lord Kensal is still in space. Although, yes, let me complete the games I've been playing. Lies of P, which is launching tomorrow, was effectively, I think it was shadow dropped on Game Pass today, this afternoon, or wherever it is, or this morning, perhaps. Yeah, probably Pacific time this morning. So I've started playing a bit of Lies of P straight away. Oh, these damn Souls-like games. You've got to get in the rhythm of them, and I can't. I've already got, I'm already struggling with the first boss. These Souls-like games, just like the Wolong, I think it was as well. It's just you've got to get the timing just right and the button combination. And I was streaming it by the cloud, which reminds me, one thing I've noticed about Xbox Cloud, xCloud, and I think this was pre-Starfield, but wait times. There's always wait times now. There would never used to be. I never had wait times. But since about the end of July, I'd say mid-August, wait times. Loading in, and now Starfield's launched, I think the wait times are even longer. The whole point of streaming, the whole beauty of Stadia, there was never any wait time. Never had a wait time. That's because not enough people used it, Clive. Yeah, whatever. The point is, that was the beauty of streaming, and even to a certain degree, xCloud and certainly GeForce Now. You go, oh, Lies of P, yeah, I'll play that. Boom, and you should be playing straight away. And you're avoiding that waiting around time, waiting to download the game onto your system, and the mood might have gone. Well, the irony is, I had to wait over 10 minutes to play Lies of P. Oh, there's a queue at the moment. It could take you about 10 minutes. And being an old man and just having just eaten a sugary lollipop, I fell asleep waiting in my armchair because it was that time because I'm getting old. I sit in the armchair. I have like some chocolate or a lollipop or something like that while I'm waiting. I get a sugar rush and I fall asleep. I fell asleep while I'm waiting for xCloud. That shows you how long it is. Anyway, a little bit annoying. The whole beauty of streaming is you don't have to download it. So there's no wait times. xCloud, there is wait time. And it's interesting because we're going to be talking about xCloud and whether they potentially, so stay tuned for this, going to start streaming the PC version of the games. Now, the interesting thing about xCloud is it seems to have been a bit neglected. Not neglected necessarily, but they don't seem to have added any enhancements since they sort of upgraded to streaming using the Xbox Series X blades, call them what you will, to stream the game. So you're playing the Xbox Series X version of the game via xCloud. But other than that upgrade, nothing. And now we're seeing the servers are busy. So it looks like they're either super popular or they haven't upgraded the servers. And you would have thought they would have anticipated that. So this idea of streaming the PC versions is interesting, but it was an idea from about 18 months ago. So are they still planning that? Or have they sort of gone off the xCloud? Have they felt the threat of Stadia is now gone? Back in 2001, they didn't know whether Stadia was going to be a massive success. I mean, they began to to think, and we'll come to that. But yeah, it's interesting. Have Xbox slowed down on the xCloud side of things because there's no real major competition. And now, with GeForce Now, which is competition, you can stream your Xbox PC games. So is that concept that they had of, being able to play the PC versions of the game still relevant today? Anyway, let's see what you guys have been doing about Link My Stadia controller to tablet, says Cloudbusters. Feels like playing on Stadia again. Absolutely. I Lord Kensal streams, Founders Edition, my GeForce Now. That's how I play. Yeah, Neil, that's the spirit. 4 of them, yeah, exactly. I've got the set, and then I've still got some stuff unboxed. It's crazy. What am I going to do? I need to unbox them before the end of the year, probably, before they switch off the little website about uploading the Bluetooth bit. I should unbox them and then, make sure they're all configured for Bluetooth. Hey, Crow, how are you? Good to see you. Platform-focused gamers and client media destroying Stadia with the aid of social media was the dumbest way to shoot gaming in the foot I've ever seen. All those billions turned away for fanboyism. Yeah, obviously, I'm someone who's talked about, Stadia at length. And they really needed to... They needed to... Their offering, in retrospect, and we kind of knew it at the time. We thought I thought they would get away with it. I was blown away by it. And lots of other people were blown away by Stadia. But not enough people. So they needed to really, really blow you away by not only, the tech was brilliant, no doubt about that, but effectively delivering what they said they were going to deliver from the get-go, blow you away. It's interesting. One of the comments on here, classic old anti-Stadia. Yeah. This comment here on my Stadia 2.0 video. Maybe this time they'll be able to break the laws of physics. No one's claiming they can break the laws of physics, really, are they? Yeah, but what they are claiming, that maybe the latency can be quicker than it is in your PC or in your Xbox. And as we know with GeForce Now, yes, the latency playing Apex Legends is less playing on GeForce Now than on your Xbox Series X, and that's been measured and tested. So it's not about breaking physics. This idea that people somehow think that the game they're playing is instant, it's not. It's not instant. There is anywhere between 30 to 120 milliseconds, depending upon your setup latency in a native setup, depending on what you've got, whether you're playing via a screen that has a high latency. That's why we buy gaming monitors, or an old TV. It's going to add 20 or 30 milliseconds of latency. So yeah, anyway, there you go. Calm said, I tried Starfield. It didn't work for me, but really loving No Man's Sky. Good for you. I think Starfield it's work. There we go. It is work. And it does get more enjoyable. I watched a bit of Dr. Disrespect playing it. He was having a ball. Saw Dr. Disrespect playing Lies of P today. Struggling with one of the boss levels. It's a real thing for the Souls-like fans. And then I saw a YouTube short of some guy who's obviously streaming it on the regular, on Twitch or whatever. And he's wearing a pirate hat, and that's what he was doing. So he was going around like Sea of Thieves and nicking ships. And he took on a big challenge, and he was successful. And I thought, I want to get to that. I haven't got to that bit yet. which would interest me, being a big Sea of Thieves fan. I want to get to the bit where I can start successfully. Well, I could start doing it now, but I want to get through the story bit, and then I'll start being, doing the adventuring bit, like being a space pirate. That's really cool. From the short clip I saw, I thought, yes, I'm going to concentrate on the story, and then I'm going to start doing all the other stuff. Jay Smith, how are you? Everspace 2. I played a bit of Everspace, and it was just flying and shooting, and I struggle with that. Can we stream PC games now? 2 years? No, that's the point. Although my friend Kalamis, I hope I said that right. Obviously, you can, not obviously, if you're not aware, you can stream the Xbox PC versions of the games that are available via GeForce Now. So GeForce Now has the Xbox PC games, and you will be playing the PC games. So if you are a keyboard and mouse fan and have Xbox PC Game Pass, or you've bought the Xbox games, the Xbox PC version of the games, you can stream them on GeForce Now. But this is the question, and we'll come to it later. In fact, why don't we just explore? Let me just go through a few things here. Lies of P. We're going to come back to everything. Lies of P. Look, September the 19th. I don't know. I'm looking at my watch, but pretend. Well, it has got a date on it. It's a G-Shock. It's the 18th. And yet, there we are. Lies of P, official release September the 19th on Steam, PlayStation, and Xbox. Most wanted Sony PlayStation game. That's irony. Best role-playing game, best action-adventure game. These are Game Awards. How can they have these? It's not even released. Anyway, well, it is released. It's on Game Pass right now. You can play it. And I have been playing it. I think I need a bit more practice. Maybe I was tired because I fell asleep waiting for the stream to load. So I will go back to it. But if you're a Souls-like fan, it's all about that. It's all about the timing, big boss, big boss strikes, pauses. If you defend at the right time, you get powered up, all that kind of stuff. So that is that, Lies of P. Then, of course, look, this is not just about the Xbox show. This is everything show. Not a fan of Apple, but Apple answers all our iPhone questions. So the Apple 15 announced. So Apple last week announced iPhone 15 for all you sheeple. And in it, they talked about it's going to be powered by the A17 Pro chip. Includes a 6-core GPU, having the fastest performance of any smartphone. Brilliant. Clive, this is not a mobile phone game. This is a show. This is a game show. Well, don't worry about that. Apple announced at its recent keynote that 4 AAA games, including Resident Evil Village, that was on Stadia, of course, Assassin's Creed Mirage, that was mysteriously not going to become a Stadia because I think Ubisoft had the inside track, are getting native versions. So these are not streamed versions. These are not cloud versions. These are native versions of the games. So it's just interesting. Let's get over the footy bit. Footy advert. I suppose IGN have got to earn their money. Yeah, that they're actual ports of the games. You're playing it natively, not via the cloud. And they talk about it here. So obviously there's sort of the more casual games, Genshin Impact and stuff like that. But there we are. Resident Evil and Resident Evil 4 natively on your iPhone 15. So there you go. It's just interesting that's where they're going, that the phones are powerful enough to do that. When it's 240 frames. Let's go back here. We're missing some people. Woo. Waiting for the DLSS on Starfield, yeah. Who would pay full price on their iPhone for Assassin's Creed that only plays on the phone and nothing else? Well, exactly. I think it's like a lot of things. I think it's more like a marketing thing, isn't it? It just showcases the power of the iPhone. I think the market, personally, is very narrow. There will be people, but, like if you're the sort of person that want to play Resident Evil Village, you're probably playing it on a console or something, or a PC. I modded it and my PC and it does perform better. Okay, that's Starfield. I've already quit Lies of P. Yeah, give it a bit more. Apple users. Hey, Rabe. Henriksen, how are you? Good to see you. For me, xCloud is now irrelevant as Game Pass is now on GFN. This is the thing. And we will come to behind the scenes chat about xCloud streaming PC games. And it's interesting about how relevant that is now, given what Xbox, Microsoft has had to do over the last 6 months. They never planned. Let's not forget, Microsoft never planned to make Xbox PC games available on GeForce Now. That was not their plan. The pressure, from the EU and the UK forced them to offer the Xbox PC games to GeForce Now. So what they might have been planning with streaming Xbox PC games 2 years ago, that strategy crashed into their need to appease the competition and market authorities in Europe and the UK by allowing the likes of Boosteroid and GeForce Now, etc., to get the Xbox PC games. That was never part of their, Xbox strategy 5 years ago, or part of the xCloud strategy, but it is now. So it would be interesting to see whether they feel it's worth it doing the PC versions of the games to satisfy the mouse and keyboard gang out there, for Xbox. I mean, the thing is, you have to pay for GeForce Now. I mean, you've got free GeForce Now, but it's not the same. Hello! Starfield needs multiplayer. I know, I would like Starfield to have multiplayer. But then I'd love it to be like Starfield, where you can go away, go around, so like a sandbox game. Or once you do the story, maybe. And then it goes into a multiplayer world. So you're sort of protected initially while you do the story. Or you could just do missions. So it's a bit like, like the beauty about Sea of Thieves, it's a sandbox game, but you get a mission. So to me, there's lots of mini stories. There are actual stories in it that you can follow. Initially, there weren't in Sea of Thieves. It was just, get a map, find the treasure, get a map, get the skulls, do a fort. And then they started introducing some other stuff and layers to it. But there's something to be said about pirating in a game. It can be frustrating when you're the wrong end of pirating activity. It could be quite, sometimes quite chill to sail around and, level up, but then to get sunk by some, trolly pirates. But you can't complain about it. It's a pirate game. So, yeah, a game like that in space. But I think there's elements of that. It's just that it's NPCs, not multiplayer. Or do you mean like you fly the ship together with your mates? With a game like Sea of Thieves. You can get a galleon going. So Lies of P on GFN on Thursday. I would imagine, actually, it is a Steam game. So that could be a good shout there, Calm. Yeah. Internet of Games agreed. I'm good. The CMA, yeah. Exactly, you see? Consumer. I'll not be playing Starfield now, if not... Yeah, exactly, you see? I'm so happy that the Call of Duty dev created a total hate campaign against me back on Stadia, insisting we'll never be on the cloud. Well, there we go. Over his dead body. Yeah. One of the comments on my Stadia 2.0 video, having an old school troll, as I call it, back in the day. Anyway, that's Liza P. Good shout out. I never thought about that. But available on Steam and, of course, Xbox Game Pass. It's all a case of whether they get it onboarded in time. I can't remember whether it was in their list of September games. I should know, but I was probably busy the last week of August in France, not really caring about stuff. Talking of Starfield, though, it's the 5th biggest game launch in Europe this year so far. Now, bearing in mind it's just on PC and Xbox, that's pretty impressive. Starfield, and is competing with EA Sports, FC, whatever, FIFA, basically. Starfield was comfortably number 1 across Europe during its launch week. The Xbox game, which is also on PC, became the fastest selling new IP of the year, the 5th fastest selling game of the year overall. Its launch sales are ahead of Final Fantasy XVI, Resident Evil 4, but behind Hogwarts Legacy, which is multi-platform, of course, Diablo 4 and Legend of Zelda. It's behind The Legend of Zelda Tears of Kingdom, which is not multi-platform, and Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which is. It's not like for like, as Starfield was technically available a week earlier for those who purchased the premium edition. So it had a few extra days of sales. That's like when they release a movie early slightly. The game just about comes ahead of Horizon 5 as the biggest Xbox launch this generation across Europe. Elsewhere, digital deals on Titanfall 2 and Need for Speed Heat propel both games back into the top 10. And there is your top 10 digital and physical games in Europe. Starfield, NBA, Titanfall, Grand Theft... Well, I suppose actually basketball's quite popular in other parts of Europe. Titanfall 2, Grand Theft Auto 5. Oh my God, that still shifts units. It still shifts units. Red Dead Redemption 2. Oh my God. That is the goose. They are the geese that lay the golden egg, aren't they? They invest 10 years of development time in these sort of things because it sells for 10 years at a consistent rate. There we go. FIFA was in the sale there. FIFA 23. EA. So there we go. Doing very well. Doing very well. Right, let's look at Xbox. So Microsoft, this is from Tom Warren from Verge. Now, this is from today, although this was also revealed in a Twitter conversation 18 months ago, at least, by Phil Spencer. But this is based on some documents that came out here. So Microsoft has been working on adding PC games to Xbox Cloud Gaming, initially in response to Google's threat with Stadia. So this was back in 2020 or whatever, 2019, 2021 here. Microsoft has been planning to stream PC games over the cloud, according to its internal emails from the FTC Microsoft case. So currently, they're streamed via Xbox Series X chips and blades. The server blades are basically glorified Xbox Series X. Microsoft's been working on leveraging its Azure servers. So that's the thing. So as I understand it, and as I think we've seen from other documents, xCloud is not powered by Azure, which is sort of a Windows-based system, cloud system. Microsoft has been working on leveraging its Azure servers to stream PC games, which would be able to be streamed via Azure. So the xCloud as we know it, has been built on separate developed servers, specifically Xbox Series X blades. It would make more sense for them if they could stream them via their Azure cloud system, which they could do if they were streaming the PC games. So CEO Satya Nadella emailed Xbox chief Phil Spencer and Kareem Chowdhury, head of cloud gaming at Microsoft, and Sarah Bond, head of creator experience, in 2021 after rumors emerged of Google turning Stadia into the white label gaming service for developers to run their games on. So this was when Google announced in February 21 that they were perhaps considering a white label solution. I hate that, but that term, I didn't think it was quite correct, quite an accurate term. But anyway, they talked about that. And so the head of Microsoft is asking basically Xbox, Stadia white label hinted at new job listing, 9 to 5 Google. Interesting. I wonder what this means. Seems like they'll have a leg up because their stuff is more generic Linux VMs plus network. But I'm assuming we will do the same for Game Pass PC, right? Says the CEO of Microsoft. And if we can have the same flexibility in terms of offering cloud gaming as APAS backend as well. So that's his thinking. We've got the servers. They run PC, they run a PC system. Can we just offer the PC games? And then Phil is correct. So basically, we stream PC native games from Azure GPU SQ. We would have more reuse scenarios to recoup the costs. So basically running the servers costs money. So if they can utilize their existing servers rather than having to build new ones, i.e. Xbox Series X blades, they would recoup the costs more quicker, basically, because they're using the Microsoft Azure system that's already there. Referring to this is Phil Spencer referring to the ability to offer a similar white label cloud gaming service to developers and publishers. So basically, he's saying, we could do what Stadia are doing, but rather than having to build them, port the games to Linux if they're not already, and to make them work on the Stadia servers, we've already got PC servers. So we could offer that as a white label in competition to Google's, to the Stadia white label, which they think, which at the time they thought Stadia was going to be doing. Yeah, we could do that, but we would have the advantage because we already run and effectively own the Windows operating system on our Azure systems. And then, interestingly, this is Phil Spencer here. He goes, for Stadia all up, I honestly think Google is in the process. This is, bearing in mind, this is July. So this is about 4 or 5 months after the announcement that they were shutting down Stadia Games and Entertainment. For Stadia all up, I honestly think Google is in the process of just trying to turn Stadia into a Google Cloud SKU and do away with their basically consumer service. They've cut all their 1p game investment. So they stopped acquiring game, giving shed loads of money to developers up front, producers, publishers up front. They recently pivoted away from any upfront payment to developers on Stadia and went to a pure usage share model. Brackets didn't go over as well, as it's really a developer taking all the risk to help Google grow their service. And the 1P Stadia team, so the team that was going around, the first party, so the 1P is first party, just dawned on me. The first party team, this is the middle of 2021, has mostly disbanded. So they Xbox really believed, or Microsoft really believed at that time, that Stadia was going to go full white label. However, Tom Warren is saying what I was saying earlier. I think Xbox Cloud Gaming has slowed over the past year inside Microsoft. Sources recently told me. So I've sort of seen it because there's no been any announcements or development. This is what we're doing. We're going to, increase the blades or whatever. Nothing since they upgraded all the blades to Xbox Series X blades. There's been nothing. We've had 2 ultimate tiers on GeForce Now in the space of about 15 months. The 3080s, and then they went to the 4080s with the super pods. Nothing. So I think with the demise of Stadia, that threat or that need to be able to offer developers a cloud gaming PC solution disappeared. They didn't have to. And clearly Stadia demonstrated there wasn't much appetite for it. And now, of course, Xbox PC games are available to stream via GeForce Now. So, yeah. Is this idea still a thing? Or is it just now basically thrown in the box? Earlier this year, Microsoft dropped some more hints about PC games being available on xCloud Gaming. British Mobile Network signed a 10-year deal with Microsoft to bring Xbox PC games to EE. I think that's more like the GeForce Now deal. It's more likely that Microsoft is closer with its Azure service to stream PC games. Microsoft has been openly testing mouse and keyboard support for Xbox Cloud Gaming, but only for Xbox console games so far. And interestingly, Phil Spencer talks about Stadia here. Google is a massive and aggressive competitor, but honestly, I've been surprised by their lack of progress with Stadia. To date, our number one competitor here is really Nvidia with GeForce Now. But we keep our eye on both Google and Amazon with Luna, also struggling. And then after a year, it said almost, so this was in 2021. And then in 2023, of course, January this year, Google shut down. So there we go. Some interesting insight into the thoughts of whether Stadia was a threat and what Xbox might do about it. Talking of Xbox, shall we talk about the next gen? Yeah? Let's talk about next gen, Generation 10. That's what the clickbaity thumbnail was. Microsoft targeted next Xbox for 2028. Docs show. This is from Axios. Microsoft executives expected in spring 2022 to launch the next Xbox in 2028. So things might have changed. This was their current thinking. Bear in mind, you've got to plan these things. You've got to give a chance. You've got to develop it. You've got to give a chance to developers to develop for the system. And we know the big AAA games take, 3, 4, 5 years. So you've got to think quite far ahead. So back in spring 2022, it seems that the execs at Microsoft were basically planning the next launch of Xbox console in 2028. And that would probably be in the fall of 2028. So still 5 years. 5 years to go on that basis. And we're considering a more flexible approach to its gaming hardware, according to an internal chat log, again released as part of this court case. In a brief chat exchange, non-executive asked the gaming leadership team whether the next Xbox will veer from the traditional model of consoles having fixed hardware standards that all game makers develop for. i.e., could it be like just a glorified PC? One of the things consoles have been really great at is giving us a very clear platform target for developers. And a game developer kit has been really good at this. This is from Anu Gozalia, Corporate Vice President. Is the plan for 2028 to keep that, can't quite read what's been redacted there maybe, like a model, or force a Windows-like flexible capability model? We've already started this journey with Xbox One and Xbox One X, furthering it in Series S and X, referring to Microsoft's experimentation with different powered Xbox models in recent console generations. So again, this idea of having different powered generation Xboxes, which ironically you can buy now, of course. The Xbox Series S, they've now got repackaged a 1 terabyte version, because that's the big complaint about. My son's got the Xbox Series S, and it's a pain in the butt for him to have to delete games all the time. And so for an extra 50 quid, bear in mind the official hard drive that you get is more than 50 quid, put it that way. For £299, you can get the carbon black, very nice looking Xbox Series S with a terabyte. And of course, they do their purchase options here. And I was looking at this. Xbox Series S, 1 terabyte. 24 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. And a controller, of course. You've got to have a bloody controller. Anyway, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is $12.99. So for £10 a month, albeit, over 2 years, £10 a month, you got yourself Xbox Series S terabyte. 1 terabyte system. Not bad. Anyway, I digress. So there we go. Between the lines, the 2028 target stated casually in the chat that the participants probably did not expect to be ever public is consistent with more recent vaguer statements from Microsoft lawyers about expectations that the industry's next console generation, so this would include PlayStation 6 or whatever, will commence in 2028. So hold the date. 2028 seems to be the date. Right. Sorry, I was distracted then. Right. Who loves a bit of Tomb Raider? The original Tomb Raider trilogy. We're talking, that I remember playing Tomb Raider on PlayStation 1. I think it was remastered. Doesn't look really remastered there because I'm okay. Yeah. I really enjoyed. I remember playing. Look at that. My YouTube's a bit slow there, as you can see, so it's not the game, it's the YouTube. But they've, upgraded all the graphics to it. Basically, she's less blocky. But yeah, there's something quite cool about that. I'm up for it. Ooh, that's what she's saying. The original Tomb Raider trilogy is being remastered for real. So this is real, and it's coming to PC just in time for Valentine's Day, so next year. So back in March 2018, Realtek VR announced it was working on remasters of the original Tomb Raider trilogy. Then it was cancelled because they didn't have permission. However, revealed during today's Nintendo Direct, when was this? 4 days ago. Tomb Raider 1 to 3 Remastered, that's the official title on Steam, will have the look of the original games but will be spiffed up with enhanced graphics. Or you can switch back to the OG look if you really want and tweak to run on modern hardware. Is that something that interests you? Are you a fan of Tomb Raider? Let us know in the chat. Let us know. I was always a big fan. Xbox Game Pass Core, which is the new sort of entry level, has been announced. And with Xbox Game Pass Core, you get 36 titles now. And it will be updated 2 to 3 times per year, according to Microsoft. And the games, the core list of games as of this week, Among Us, Astroneer, I won't read them all out, but you've got Doom Eternal, Elder Scrolls Online. There's rumours about Elder Scrolls 6. Fable Anniversary, Fallout, Firewatch, Forza 4, Gears 5. No thanks. State of Decay, Vampire Survivors. I mean, there's some big hitters missing there. Halo 5 Guardians. Where's Halo? You know, like the current Halo. But for the basic core, not too bad. Any games in there that you know, are there games in there where you think are definitely, you know, yeah, where's Starfield, you know? But maybe, you know, you're happy with a low level and you'll buy the game. You know, you're a FIFA player all the time or a Call of Duty player, and then you just like a handful of games, a small library of 36 games you can dip into now and then. I'm just seeing what the price is. They haven't rolled out the core yet, but that's the Xbox Game Pass core anyway. Moving on. No, that's the same story. Let's see what Tom's got to say for himself. So, Starfield is officially, and I think somebody mentioned it in the chat earlier, Starfield is officially getting DLSS. It's part of a number of planned updates for Starfield, including an FOV slider, ultra-wide monitor support. I'm so tempted. Although my partner says, stop buying things. So I'm not allowed to buy anything. I've bought a lot of things. My daughter went to university this weekend. She's doing fashion photography. And so she needed a camera. And I thought, oh, yeah, I'll get like a cheap DSLR. But they had very specific requirements. You know, I had to buy a refurbed version and then buy her a lens as well. So, yeah. If you've got kids who go to university, get them to do a course that doesn't have equipment that costs a lot. I mean, well, not too bad, but it's just a little bit more than I'd planned. I was expecting to pay. But it's a pro camera. It's entry level, but it's a pro camera, like a proper professional photographer's camera. Anyway, there we go. Confirmed. DLSS support is coming. So, you know, if you're playing on GeForce Now Ultimate, it's going to look pretty sweet, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty sweet. Now, talking, again, is me. Anybody know, why am I pointing at this yacht? Whose yacht is that? Let's play a game. Whose yacht is that? So, as I say, I've dropped my daughter off at university and she's in Falmouth. Okay? Falmouth University. And in the Falmouth port there, let me just get you a better picture. Right. Anybody know whose boat that is? I'll tell you. Obviously, I'll give you a clue. You'll get it straight away. Obviously, somebody's selling a lot of Steam Decks. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. That yacht, ladies and gentlemen, is the yacht of Gabe Newell. He, the owner, head of Valve, i.e. Steam, and all of that, and Steam Deck, and Half-Life, and other such well-known popular gaming references. But yeah, that's his yacht. I don't know if that's him right behind. You can't quite right behind my head. There you are. There's some people, I don't know, it depends, right on the back. They're having a chat and some drinks and stuff like that. I couldn't quite see. I didn't get an invite. And in fact, behind my head as well in this shot, there was somebody making a YouTube video, I think. Anyway, there we are. That, just as a random side, is Gabe Newell's yacht. So there we go. If you're successful in gaming, not enough yachts, as they say. There you go. Just thought I'd share that random observation. Now, I think I mentioned this. Xbox doing credit cards. The new Xbox MasterCard. A new way to earn more value for gaming. Really? If you're a real Xbox fan, yeah, knock yourself out. Xbox, Microsoft, streaming services, you get points. Delivery services. Yeah. Just thought I'd mention it. Crazy to me, but there we go. But there's now streaming to Discord. I never really get the point of streaming to Discord, but maybe somebody could explain to me the benefit of doing that. I'm not sure. Other than maybe sharing it with your mates or group. But yeah, you can now stream games from Xbox direct to Discord. So you can obviously stream games from Xbox direct to Twitter. Now do it straight to Discord. It's not something I've kind of really explored, so I don't really understand the point of it, but obviously there is a point to it, hence they wouldn't offer it as a sort of solution or an option. But there you go. Now, earlier talking, that's it. So obviously a lot of people are streaming Starfield as a regular thing, like they do with Sea of Thieves, because you can go around and do pirating. Well, if you're considering to do a whole channel dedicated to streaming Starfield, then maybe you get some Elgato microphone and Stream Deck. Stream Deck, he says. Come on. Struggling with my... Yeah, look, they're doing an... Let's get to the crux. A Starfield... There we are. A Starfield Stream Deck and a Starfield Elgato mic, Wave 1 mic. So, if you're a real Starfield fan and you do streaming and stuff, and look, even the icons. How cool is that? Oh, surface map, scan. You can use some of the, oh my God, that'd be, oh. You can use some of the keys to operate within the game as well. I mean, I could spend time with my Stream Deck and do that, but the fact that it's already, maybe you can get the buttons. I'll have to look into that. But anyway, for streamers of Starfield, there you go. And one last little thing before we go to the chat. Defiant, X-Defiant, which I I enjoyed playing the beta version and stuff like that. Update on release. Release update. I think they put it back here. We want to explain further why we haven't given a specific date yet for our launch. So they did submit it for compliance. So when you develop a game as a publisher, you then send it to Xbox and send it to PlayStation, etc., for compliance. And then they comply it to make sure that it doesn't have, not any bugs, but there is a threshold of fatal bugs, which just crash the game and stuff like that. So there's sort of a minimum criteria that in terms of bugs in the game that might exist. Some are fine, some, get through. But if it doesn't meet that criteria, then it fails that compliance, that submission process. And XDefiant, the free sort of PvP shooter, failed the QA compliance. So, and the whole submission process takes 2 to 3 weeks. And there were too many different bugs in the game that basically it failed its compliance test. So they're having to go back to the, which is a bit, I don't think, in my experience, I mean, especially someone of Ubisoft's level, you would thought you would have had the team, the QA team, the Q&A team, who kind of are there, basically young guys and girls who are just paid to play games all day. It's a job. I remember when I worked at, Lego and Lego Gaming and stuff like that. We had a whole room and there were all these, guys and girls who just game tested, called the QA department. They just tested and then they logged all the bugs. And then that went back to the developers, who then hopefully eradicated the bugs. Anyway, the point is, with the thought the Ubisoft team are experienced at getting their games complied, or suitably compliant for Xbox and PlayStation, but clearly not. So it was planned, I think, for September. They've had to go back and they're ironing out all the bugs. So there's no specific date. We're currently in the CM prep part of the process and will hopefully be submitting to first parties in less than 2 weeks. If that passes cleanly, we could be looking at mid to end September release. They might get a conditional pass, meaning we have a day one patch. So they can release the game, but they also have to do a day one patch. So I think October is more likely, personally. In my experience, that's what I'm reckoning. Let's see what you guys have been saying in the chat. Can Microsoft Phil Spencer show trailer next new Xbox Series X Pro 24-25? Yeah, I on the basis it's coming out in 28, we probably won't see anything until at least 26, 27. Liza P was also queued for Stadia. All right, yeah. Bought Titanfall 2 for Steam Deck. It was like £3. No wonder, Date. Yeah. I think I had it as an Xbox Live Gold title about 2-3 years ago. But £3, bargain. AMD, Nvidia, and Intel will be providing quotations for the PC hardware contract at Microsoft. And they all now have capable cards. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Some Sonic games. We'll check that out. Yeah. Kalamis, agree. Looks like they scrapped those plans. I don't remember last news about... No, as I said, I think the last news about Xbox xCloud was basically them upgrading to Xbox Series X blades. And, as I said, since July, August... there seems to be a queue when there never was, which means that they don't seem to be expanding the number of servers, especially with a game like Starfield coming out. Now, yeah, 10-minute waits are the regular. And it never used to be like that. So you'd think they go, we'll be upgrading our, servers to meet demand. But no, I think the priority of xCloud has definitely gone down the order of things. The priority level has dropped down. And I think part of that is appetite's not there. It's expensive. And now they've been forced to make the games available on GeForce Now and Boosteroid. They might as well go, well, what's the point? It definitely is. I mean, I've always thought xCloud, was always a side dish to the overall Xbox experience. It was never the main dish. Stadia was the main dish. When it came to cloud gaming, xCloud was always a side dish. Now is even more of a side dish. It's almost like the bloody finger bowl. Yeah. Xbox Cloud has been hobbled to get yeah, I think you're right. Exactly, Internet of Games. Hey, Yoshida, arigato gozaimasu. Johnny. Do you think we get next gen on xCloud or xCloud only after and run with Xbox Series X? Well, you think you would get next gen. You'd think they would upgrade their servers if they're still there. Because if cloud gaming, in my view, I thought cloud gaming would grow quicker or be of more interest. GeForce Now at the moment, and for that to happen, you need competition. And really, whilst Stadia was badly handled and wasn't backed properly by Google, we know all that, but at least there was competition. You had Stadia, GeForce Now, Luna, with Amazon, and xCloud. Well, Stadia's gone. Luna seems to just be bumbling along the bottom. GeForce Now is the one that's pioneering thing, NVIDIA, but there's no competition to really challenge NVIDIA. And you need competition for cloud gaming to become more widely adopted. So I think cloud gaming will become adopted, but I think the uptake will take longer than many industry experts at the time. Myself, I'm not saying I'm an industry expert, but I'm saying and me and others thought, within 2, 3, 4, 5 years. But I think a 10 years probably, closer. And this is talking from 2019. So 2028, when the next gen consoles come out, that cloud gaming functionality, like it is now in a way to a certain degree, is built in, enhanced. Maybe there's something within the unit that does something to enhance the picture quality and all that kind of stuff, like NVIDIA do in their servers, and that the game you're getting is, being powered by the Generation 10 Xbox or whatever. That's what I'd like to think in 2028 would happen, Jonas. That's the answer. They launch old. They don't lead hardware innovation. Mark, how are you, Mark Morris? Good to see you there. Right in time for the Elder Scrolls release. Exactly, 2026, I think I saw that in one of the reports. Again, the documents that were revealed as part of the FTC court case, it looks like, and Elder Scrolls 6 will not be available on PlayStation. Why, I mean, that decision may change, but it's entirely down to Microsoft to make that decision. But yeah, 2026, I think, is the scheduled release or the planned release or expected release of Elder Scrolls 6. If you get an external drive, you can transfer next-gen games on that and move them to internal when you want to play them. Yeah, but, with me, I'm the sort of guy that would get the official one, which costs 30, 40 quid. Again, transfer, because if you get one of those things, that you could, like a hard drive, you can transfer it takes time. Whereas I think with the hard drive extension you get, it's almost instantaneous. Instant. Why Microsoft not upgrade with more servers in xCloud when all the players send in feedback now? Exactly. And with Starfield, like their biggest game, they know it's going to be their biggest game. You've got Forza, got the next Forza Motorsport coming. That's going to be massive. They clearly are not investing in the servers for xCloud. And I think that's sad. And as I say, I think as Internet, of Games mentioned, and, I mentioned there, I think it is because they're so focused. You think of the last couple of years, 18 months, they've been so focused getting the Activision Blizzard King deal over the line. And in that, they've had to make massive strategy decisions, which were not part of their strategy 2 years ago, 18 months ago even. They've had to change their strategy just to get this ABK deal over the line. And I think xCloud is that not the only reason, but I think that is one of the reasons. And the fact that they've had to, if you think it's partly cloud gaming, which has been a thorn in the side. It's my son. The thorn in the side of the ABK deal. It's specifically that the EU raised concerns with, and the CMA in the UK raised concerns about. So there we go. Maybe they're thinking, well, if anything, the cloud gaming aspect is what held the ABK deal up. So, in a way, do they want to be seen to be aggressively upgrading their cloud offering at a time when it's been seen as non-competitive, as a threat to the cloud gaming industry by the Competition and Markets authorities? Maybe best bet is to sort of step away for a bit, not add any rocket fuel to it. You don't want to burn too brightly. You don't want to shine that light too brightly when that light is under the spotlight. Am I mixing my allegories up there? But you know what I mean? If the focus that is stopping the ABK deal, the Activision Blizzard King merger going through, is on cloud gaming, perhaps best not touch cloud gaming for a little while. Maybe that's one of the reasons that's feeding into it. Who knows? Woo! Someone sported a 3D version of the Tomb Raider game. Really? Wow. Hellblade is a good title indeed. Halo Infinite multiplayer is free to play. Well, of course, there is that. Struggle boxing, of course. Can't be the money if Microsoft release more servers, they make players happy and get more. Yeah, I think you're right. I think having this two-way conversation with you guys in the chat, I think it is the focus has been on the Activision Blizzard deal, which has sort of distracted things. The strategies had to change, and because of the market and competition authorities look at that ABK deal, and at the same time, you're going to think, well, let's not go anywhere near it if it's under scrutiny. We don't want to be seen to be aggressively pushing xCloud at a time when we're being told, oh, we're killing the cloud gaming market because we're too aggressive. Yeah, it wasn't Steve Jobs, no. 10K. Gabe Newell, exactly. Putin's, it's not Putin's, yeah. It's ours now. I was going to say Bobby Activision, no. Steam also owns one of those deepest... Really? Wow. Yahtzee. Not Yahtzee, Yahtzee. He needs a big boat to not sink. Capcom did Street Fighter credit cards. Oh my God, that'd be cool. I'm all for, a nice credit card, but yeah. And the yacht is just another reason why you should always demand more from the gaming industry. Exactly. In fairness, Gabe Newell is quite, he's one of the few, he owns Steam 100%, or Valve. He owns Valve 100%, I think. So, and he, what was it he did he fully behind, he said he didn't need a contract for Call of Duty to be on Steam because on the basis that he says if our service isn't good enough for Steam, then we don't want it. We want to make the Steam library worthy of having game, that people like Microsoft want to come and sell their game on our library, which kind of, whether you believe that or not, I think it's good. Discord wants you to pay for it. Oh, you've got to have you got to subscribe to Discord. What's it called? Nitro or whatever it is. Frontiers of Pandora, Forza Motorsport are two to watch on GFN, especially Frontiers of Pandora, which may well be one of the biggest, best looking games ever. Yeah. Well, let's hope so. Bungie tested it for them. Yeah, exactly. Bungie tested Stadia. xCloud was great because Stadia Series S only had a small SSD, but now they have a terabyte, making xCloud less relevant. That's a good point, Gandara. Exactly. And if you have, to me, the biggest thing about cloud gaming is that I'm in the mood to play, and you click a button and you're playing, right? A new game, like I said, Lies of P today comes out on Xbox. I fancy having a quick, I'm doing a show in an hour's time, but I'll have a quick look. I don't have time to download it. I just want to play it straight away. And that's what we always said about Stadia. No, no download times. Just play it. But if suddenly there's a 10-minute wait, that it sort of undermines one of the key brilliant things about being able to play via the cloud. No waiting times, but there are waiting times. So it sort of sours the experience a bit, in my opinion. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, there we go. I know I've not done many shows recently. It's been the summer, lots going on. My daughter's left home. And all of that. But hopefully we'll be getting back to the regular and all of that. I know Jerome's... and so I hope you will join me again next Monday for more Monday Game Chat. Of course, look out. Oh, XDefiant. I see what you mean. Thank you, Kalamis, for the clarification. Anyway, look out for the GeForce Now news on Thursday, or always usually 2 p.m. UK time on Thursday. I will have a GeForce Now roundup as per normal. But otherwise, why don't you join me same time, same place next week on the Monday Game Chat. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Enjoy Starfield, Lies of P, or whatever you choose to play. Thank you.
Thanks for watching the Monday Game Chat with your host, Clive Illenden. Don't forget to hit the likes, subscribe, and consider becoming a member. Hit the join button today.